welcome to the Gaia update for the total lunar eclipse happening in Aquarius on July 27th. I'm Adrienne Elise. Well, this is one of the most powerful eclipses. We had that really powerful total solar eclipse last year, and that was, of course, in Leo. And this one is in Aquarius because the moon, it's a lunar eclipse, and so the moon at a full moon is when the lunar eclipses happen, and the full moon is opposite the sun, which is in Leo. So we've got this Leo Aquarius axis totally activated with the nodes of the moon. So the north node of the moon has been in Leo for the last over a year. And we're completing this cycle in a few more months when the north node will move into Cancer. So we're getting the message here about what is this north node in Leo about. Now, it has a lot to do with the south node in Aquarius, and so that's what's really activated, because this full moon means that the moon is conjunct the south node, and who else is there but Mars. Mars in retrograde. And so Mars, our main action planet, our get up and go, let's make some stuff happen, is in retrograde. So it's a time of kind of there's definitely just a lot of rearranging going on in timelines and energetic frequencies and our relationship to time, our relationship to the future and to the past. This is the deal with eclipses, is it's a lining up of the earth and the moon and the sun, and that corresponds with lining up with the nodes. And so now we have Mars in the mix, retrograde, right near the south node. So the Mars is on the south node leading up to this full moon, and there's a lot of messages here. Now the energy of this, because Mars has this desire for action, but it's in retrograde, this and the south node is about the past. So the north node is about our future karma. How are we getting into where we need to go? And then the south node is what from the past is holding us back. So we're looking at issues of the Aquarian age, and Mars going retrograde in Aquarius is a very strong message from the universe that we are trying to figure out how to move forward in the Aquarian age. And we are having to do some major restructuring of our reality and our energetic field in order to do this. Now, the universe is saying it's time, because this eclipse happens, the moon will be at 4 degrees 44 seconds of Aquarius. And so 444 in numerology adds up to 12 when you add the digits together in numerology. And then of course if you add 12, 1 and 2 together, you get 3. Now 3 is a number of creation. It's about using energies together to create something different, our creativity. Now, this is really interesting because the North Node's in Leo, and Leo rules our creative expression and the sun part of ourselves, our ability to shine, our ability to claim our joy, our ability to express the truth of who we really are in this lifetime. So this North Node in Leo has been some pressure to get on your true path as far as living the life that you want to live and expressing yourself, your true self. But the deal is that a lot of people don't even know who they really are, because we've been living in this paradigm that's kind of designed to keep us from really actualizing. And so this eclipse has this crazy energy of like literally becoming who you really are, but it's somebody, maybe it's somebody you don't even know, because you're so, that part of you is so suppressed, maybe through past life traumas and stuff like that. So this is like this magical thing going on with the aspects of around this eclipse, because we've got this Mars retrograde, and to me it feels like an eddy, like in a creek or a river, you know, and when it's like the full bore motion ahead, but because there's this little side area that's outside of the vortex, and it creates its own little vortex, and you can go, and you know, it's kind of nice if you want to get out of the rapids and get out of the, and take a little break. That's kind of where we're at right now. But with this Mars retrograde, especially right there on the south node, we're in an eddy of repeating patterns. And I mean, it's almost like, you know, Groundhog Day in a way, this energy of like, waking up in the same place that you've been a number of times before. And these patterns are showing themselves. It's almost like they're getting closer and closer together with this strange. So eclipses really affect time. And in particular with Aquarius, has such quirky energy. And so it's like we're having this energy of an adjustment of our relationship to time. But we are, in order to do that, in order to kind of transform our relationship to time, it's really about examining our relationship with the past and with the future. So that's what the nodes, and that's why it creates this strange energy around the eclipses with the node, because it's aligning up with the nodes, and it's like past of the moon, and it's like past and future karma. So the Mars retrograde is kind of serving a purpose of keeping us in this eddy where we're maybe resting, but we're maybe examining patterns that are like, you know, where like maybe it's like, oh, I'm back in this pattern again. You know, I did this last year, I did this months ago, I did this years ago, I did it lifetimes ago. But now it's like, wait a minute, I'm back in the eddy again. And it's like I'm seeing the same thing over and over, because these patterns need to get very, very clear so we can make the choice to vibrate at a different frequency. So the Aquarian age has a whole different vibrational energy, and it's almost like there's a group of souls on the planet that have chosen this time right now to move into this whole new dimensional frequency with this eclipse season. I mean, it's like not only do we have eclipse season with 3 eclipses this summer, which is usually, you know, a lot of times there's only 2. So we have 3 eclipses, then we've got Mars retrograde, and then right the day before this total lunar eclipse, Mercury goes retrograde. So to have Mercury and Mars retrograde at the same time and the eclipse, all of it together, it's just like the time is now. And I don't know what that means. You know, it's individual for all of us, but there's definitely a feeling of like, you know, being suspended and waiting for like a new timeline to land. So by using the energy of this full moon eclipse and really being present with the energy, so I hope you can join the group session. We're going to do it leading up to the exact time of this lunar eclipse. And we're going to go ahead and look at shared past life information that might help us clear and harmonize and reset our vibrational frequency to be able and activate into this new energy. So Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, and so when Aquarius is involved, Uranus is like lightning fast change. It was discovered around the time of electricity. So it's got this electrical nervous, it can affect your nervous system. And because it's the ruler of Aquarius, it's very exalted right now. And it's in the early degrees of Taurus. Now, the cool thing is that it's just coming into this beautiful trine with Saturn. Now, we felt this Saturn trine Uranus over the past couple of years, but it was in fire signs. And that had a very different energy. So now we're heading into this Earth trine energy, and we had Venus kind of start that off. Venus in Virgo came into this grand Earth trine. And so we're still kind of feeling that energy, and it triggered. And now this Uranus and Saturn are in a trine, and we're going to be feeling that all the way into October. So it's going to take us through this whole eclipse season. So it's like, okay, 3 eclipses, Mercury and Mars retrograde, and luckily we have some, you know, the universe is kind of like giving us everything we need. That's the energy right now. What you need to do what you're here to do, and to live your life, and to be the truth, live the truth of who you are, which you might not even know who that is yet, but you might after this eclipse. But to do that, you know, we need to be able to reset our vibration, and this energy is really helping us. So Saturn and Uranus in a trine in earth signs. Saturn at the beginning is in a retrograde, so it's gone back, and that's what's making it come into this trine with Uranus. And so they're just 2 degrees apart right now, and they are about, now Saturn's a reality planet. It's like 3D manifested world, and the rules, it governs the rules of karma and the rules of this physical 3D reality. Uranus is like out there, right? I mean, and it's like information. Aquarius is an air sign, so we're looking at The air signs always work with, the realm of the mind, and so we've got like perspective and information. Now, when Uranus is in aspect to planets and it's activated, you can always expect unexpected things and unexpected happenings. Information can come in, synchronicities. It's a really important time in this next couple of months to really pay attention, because if we are being I just keep seeing this picture of like Mama Cat picking us up, and it's kind of like, okay, you're dirty in the mud from this old paradigm, and we gotta get licked off, cleaned off, and then put back into a new paradigm. And we're kind of suspended there right now, clearing and healing and trying to, looking at in the eddy of the past, having repeating patterns just get very amplified, so that we can choose something different and move into a new energy. And so that's a lot of what's happening. So pay attention to the messages coming through with now when Saturn and Uranus come together, because Uranus is the energetic world that we don't see, the vibrational world that we don't see. It's not manifested into form, and Saturn is the manifested into form. These planets, especially in earth signs, there's a huge opportunity for manifesting, like to bring into form the energetic truth of who we are, or the life we want, or the vision we see for our planet and for each other. And so there's some magic going on. Now, it's interesting because Uranus is in that beautiful trine with Saturn, but Uranus will also make a T-square with the sun and the moon for this full moon. And Taurus is a square. It's another fixed sign. So this is a fixed T-square happening at the time of this lunar eclipse. And so that means that there's a 90-degree angle between the sun and the moon to Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, where this eclipse is happening. And so that is really potent. And of course Mars is involved. Okay, so Mars is heading into this square with Uranus, and so Mars retrograde, it's having 3 squares with Uranus in this retrograde cycle. So we're heading up on the second time of this, and Mars is a little bit frustrated right now because it wants to go forward, but the message from the universe is like, wait, it's not time. You're restructuring your reality. Chill. So this is the deal with the Earth trine too. The Earth is receptive. The Earth waits and receives. It's a feminine way of creating, where Mars represents our masculine side, action planet. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. And I'm going to go out there and make the world I want, right? And then we get into all kinds of energetic karmic things we need to work through and all that. And but this energy of this Earth trine is saying, learn from the Earth, learn to wait, and learn to allow the magic and the change and the energies to the frequencies, because if you're too busy and you're trying to make it happen with your ego and your will, it's like not going the right direction right now, and so it's like the huge messages on all levels to sit tight, wait, open to receive, allow. This is the feminine way of creating. And so as this Earth trine, there's this beautiful energy of allowing ourselves to ground out and connect deeply into the Earth, to become really present in this physical reality, but bringing the light, so this is all about the Uranus and Taurus is a lot about bringing the spirit. It's a spiritualization of the Earth and coming down to Earth, but bringing the spiritual energies with us into manifested form. And so this Earth trine energy is like, allow yourself to be the cup and wait for the right time to co-create with the universe. And it's way easier. It's actually effortless, okay? But then, there's so many, especially indigo and lightworker souls, crystal seeds. It's like, I'm here to do something. I gotta go do it. The time is now, right? And it's like, yeah, the time is now. you're stuck in the eddy, and you're reprogramming and recalibrating for the new timeline, and you're not quite ready, and you don't really know who you are. So it's like we're in this process. We can't just jump forward. We can't just go create the life we want, because we don't even know who we are, and we don't even know where we're going, and our timeline hasn't landed. And so and it's hard, because this has been a long time of lifetimes of waiting, right, for the energy to be right, but it's happening. And so the energy is can you be the cup that can receive the blessings that want to come to you? And can you slow down and allow yourself to co-create with the universe by receiving and allowing and being quiet and listening and paying attention? And so the image that I have of this is becoming the Holy Grail. Like, can you be the Holy Grail and allow yourself to be so receptive that you are the container for the blessings that are trying to come onto the planet right now? And then, can you, use that metaphor to move into these new energies and be that living, breathing demonstration of what's really possible? So that trine of Saturn and Uranus is saying this, like, we can spiritualize the earth. We can bring magic into form. We can create the world that we want to do. And of course, then Mars and the nodes and the eclipses are like, wait, hold on, what are we doing? And that's this timeline alignment. So it's very possible. It's really great time to really pay attention at this eclipse, because there's a timeline alignment available. And the eclipses always have, like I said, this weird time stuff, and here we are in between eclipses, and it's kind of like a time when things are just a little bit strange, and your relationship to time and how time moves, your perspective of time and the days and the hours, and it could like stretch out and compress, and that's actually a really good thing, because it's telling you that you're adjusting your frequency vibration to move into a way more productive and supportive energetic frequency and paradigm that is going to support you in who you really are and doing what you really want to do here, and being a part of this, creating this, spiritualizing the earth and bringing the cosmic energies into communication with Mother Earth to move into like the new earth frequencies. And so just an incredibly powerful time, and nobody really knows what this means. We can surmise about it. This timeline energy and relationship to time eclipses, the full lunar eclipse is like covers up, the moon is covered up, the light of the moon is covered up, and then it's revealed again. Okay, and that's what eclipses are. So it's like what's hidden and what needs to be revealed. And then with Uranus involved, it's in Aquarius, it's like, who are you really? Like, what's your spiritual self? Like, what's this other part of you? Maybe there's a lot of energy towards forging, using this eclipse time to forge a direct connection to your higher self. And then what does that look like? Is that the new timeline? Is that the new reality? But it really is time to step into some new energies, and the universe is giving us beautiful, beautiful cues about this. And but we're being asked to reconcile the past, shake off the old, clean off the mud, get used to a new way of being. It's like, say, somebody, like, you've heard of stories of like people who win the lottery, but they're not used to having money, and it's so uncomfortable for them to have money, they spend it in a very short amount of time. It's like they'd rather not have the money because they have a poverty contract or poverty consciousness, and so they're going to keep creating that. So people who would just come into money have to do, really make an energetic shift to get used to a different frequency, and that's literally what's happening. But these are spiritual abundant blessings, literally like showering of gold. So on Sunday the 22nd is when the moon moves in, or the sun moves into Leo. And so Leo is ruled by the sun, and the sun loves being in Leo, and it's about our heart chakra and opening up to love. And so that's kind of this energy of like, Can you receive the spiritual blessings that are trying to come your way? Can you change your vibrational frequency by letting go of these stories of the past in order to vibrate into something new? And this is also highlighted by the fact that Venus will be in square with Neptune for this full moon eclipse, and I mean not square, opposite of Neptune, Venus in Virgo, opposite of Neptune in Pisces. So the Neptune in Pisces can represent the past, especially since we're talking about moving into the age of Aquarius. We're coming out of the age of Pisces. And Venus is, what do you really care about? What do you really want? You know, and maybe that's part of the reset that's going on right now. Can we dream a new dream and vision a new vision that's doesn't involve the trauma of our past age, of our past? And so Venus is heading up, after we get through this whole retrograde cycle, Venus this fall is going to take a retrograde in Scorpio. And so Venus is kind of gearing up for this, and is, you know, with this hanging out across from Neptune is again speaking about the past. So everything right now is about, like, where are you being pulled into the eddies of the past, and how do you vibrate to something new? You know, if we don't know who we are, Venus is a lot about our values, what we really care about, what makes us feel good, and our self-worth. And it's like, we talked about how all this new information is coming in, the true self, and, you know, we might not even know who we really are. And so the Venus retrograde is coming at a beautiful time, really, because it's kind of like it's going to allow us this fall to calibrate to these eclipses and this retrograde cycle, and kind of be like, okay, I'm allowing myself to flirt with these new energies, come into this new different way of being in the world. But what is, now that I've opened my eyes to a new perspective from all of these changes and all this activation this summer, what do I really want? You know, like, what do I really want? And so Neptune is our ability to dream and vision and fantasize. It's also the downfall of, you know, the Piscean age, which had where, you know, the power of religion was used to control people, you know. So it's like kind of delusions and losing yourself in and the world is definitely in lots of delusion right now. It's all part of it, but Venus wants some clarity here. Venus wants to care about ourselves enough, you know, in Virgo there, to be able to vision a new world and create a new vibration and dream a new dream. And so it's definitely evaluating what is in our self-worth. You know, Virgo wants to discriminate and sort things out and see the truth. And so we're looking at, you know, so do you feel like you deserve this abundance? This wants to shower down from the universe? Or, you know, are you still working out some past karma or programming that says you don't deserve, which is ridiculous, because, you know, this is the sun moving into Leo. It's really helping us, you know, every year at this time of year, we get to celebrate that we are the sun. And so it's like the blessings, the spiritual blessings that want to shower down, and do we deserve them? That's kind of a silly concept, because we're actually, by the nature of existence, you know, the I am presence, like I exist, that is by birthright, by that whole thing, means you have the energy of the cosmos within you, because that's where you came from. That's what you're made up of. And so Venus is ready for a recheck and a reset in this value system, and cleaning it up, and knowing that we deserve the life that we dream for ourselves. You know, this life of joy and creative expression and spiritual blessings, and receiving and working, co-creating with the universe. So we're in a massive reset, and this is what 2018 is about. And here we are, we're halfway through, and it's a really potent and beautiful time. So I hope I can see you on that group session. It's going to be really awesome energy. And when we come together like that, we help ourselves reset, and then the collective energy of the group is like, we can send out a beautiful blessing and vibrational energy to the collective. And so it's really great. So I hope you can be a part of that. And again, that's on Friday, the 27th, at the exact time of the eclipse leading into it. And that's 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's 1 p.m. in the afternoon on Pacific Time, and 4 p.m. on the East Coast. So until next time, I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful retrograde eclipse season, and stay tuned for updates about this process as we move into this incredibly powerful and strange eclipse portal. The 2 weeks between this eclipse and the next eclipse are going to be that major restructuring time, a really good time to sit tight, ground out, and be flexible, and pay attention and stay aware to get these messages and blessings and everything that's trying to come through. So it's on August 11th that the solar eclipse is, so those 2 weeks, and we're going to have Mercury and Mars retrograde together. Mercury goes direct on August 19th, and then the full moon on August 26th is in Pisces, and that's going to complete this eclipse cycle and kind of be like boom, it's like, you know, period at the end. And then Mars goes direct the very next day. So we're in the meat of this summer astrology, and here we go. So I hope you have a wonderful August eclipse season, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste. Hello, and welcome to the Gaia update for the total lunar eclipse happening in Aquarius on July 27th. I'm Adrienne Elise. Well, this is one of the most powerful eclipses. We had that really powerful total solar eclipse last year, and that was, of course, in Leo. And this one is in Aquarius because the moon, it's a lunar eclipse, and so the moon at a full moon is when the lunar eclipses happen, and the full moon is opposite the sun, which is in Leo. So we've got this Leo Aquarius axis totally activated with the nodes of the moon. So the north node of the moon has been in Leo for the last over a year. And we're completing this cycle in a few more months when the north node will move into Cancer. So we're getting the message here about what is this north node in Leo about. Now, it has a lot to do with the south node in Aquarius, and so that's what's really activated, because this full moon means that the moon is conjunct the south node, and who else is there but Mars. Mars in retrograde. And so Mars, our main action planet, our get up and go, let's make some stuff happen, is in retrograde. So it's a time of kind of there's definitely just a lot of rearranging going on in timelines and energetic frequencies and our relationship to time, our relationship to the future and to the past. This is the deal with eclipses, is it's a lining up of the earth and the moon and the sun, and that corresponds with lining up with the nodes. And so now we have Mars in the mix, retrograde, right near the south node. So the Mars is on the south node leading up to this full moon, and there's a lot of messages here. Now the energy of this, because Mars has this desire for action, but it's in retrograde, this and the south node is about the past. So the north node is about our future karma. How are we getting into where we need to go? And then the south node is what from the past is holding us back. So we're looking at issues of the Aquarian age, and Mars going retrograde in Aquarius is a very strong